There's something you're afraid of right now. You might not admit it out loud. You might not even fully realize it consciously. But your subconscious knows. It always knows. And in the next few minutes, it's going to reveal itself to you, not through words, not through analysis, but through something simpler, through what you see first. Fear is interesting. Most people think fear is about what could happen. It's not. Fear is about what you believe will happen if the thing you're avoiding actually shows up. And here's the uncomfortable truth. The things we fear most aren't out there in the world. They're inside us, waiting to be acknowledged. Today I'm going to show you an image. Just one. But hidden within it are 5 different objects. A butterfly, a skull, an eye, a door, a clock. Each one represents a different fear. A different way your subconscious is trying to protect you from something it believes will hurt you. Before we begin, hit that like button and subscribe if you want content that goes deeper than surface-level entertainment. We don't do fluff here. We do truth. And truth isn't always comfortable, but it's always worth it. Now here's how this works. In a moment, you'll see the image. Don't search for anything. Don't try to find all 5 objects. Just relax your eyes and notice what jumps out at you first. That first thing you see, the object that catches your attention before anything else. That's your answer. That's what your subconscious wants you to know about. Your brain processes visual information in milliseconds. Before you can even form a thought about what you're looking at, your subconscious has already decided what matters most. It pulls your attention toward what it needs you to see. So trust that. Don't second guess it. Don't overthink it. The first image you notice is the right one. Take a deep breath. Clear your mind and look at the image now. What did you see first? If you saw the butterfly first, your biggest fear is transformation. Not change itself, but what transformation demands from you. Letting go. Becoming unrecognizable. Losing the version of yourself that feels safe even if that version is suffocating you. People who see the butterfly first are often standing at the edge of something, a major life transition, a decision that will fundamentally alter who they are, and they're terrified, not of the unknown exactly, but of who they'll have to stop being in order to become who they need to be. You might be someone who has outgrown your life, but can't bring yourself to leave it. Your job doesn't fulfill you anymore, but it's familiar. Your relationship isn't growing, but it's comfortable. Your routine feels empty, but it's predictable. And the thought of shedding all of that, of going through the painful process of metamorphosis, feels like death, because, in a way, it is. The caterpillar doesn't become a butterfly by staying a caterpillar. It has to dissolve completely. It has to surrender every part of its former identity. And that's what you're afraid of. You're afraid that if you change too much, people won't recognize you anymore. You're afraid that if you evolve, you'll lose the relationships built on the old version of you. You're afraid that transformation means betrayal of your past, of the people who knew you when, of the promises you made to a version of yourself that no longer exists. But here's what you need to understand. Growth isn't betrayal. Staying small to make others comfortable is. The butterfly doesn't apologize for having wings. It doesn't shrink back into the cocoon because caterpillars feel threatened. It flies. And that's what you're being called to do, even if it terrifies you. If you saw the skull first, your biggest fear is endings, not death necessarily, though that might be part of it, but finality, the idea that something you've invested in could just stop, that all the effort, all the love, all the time could lead to nothing. People who see the skull first carry a deep anxiety about impermanence. You might be someone who stays in situations longer than you should because leaving means admitting it's over. You hold on to relationships past their expiration date. You keep trying to revive projects that have already died. You refuse to close chapters because closing them makes the ending real. And underneath all of that is a question you're terrified to answer. What if I've wasted my time? What if everything I've built falls apart? What if the things I thought were permanent were just temporary all along? You might also fear your own ending, not just physical death, but the death of your potential, the death of the dreams you once had, the slow, quiet death of becoming someone you didn't mean to become. And so you avoid endings at all costs. You keep things on life support. You leave doors half open. You say, maybe later instead of goodbye. But here's the truth about endings. They're not failures. They're completions. Every story has a last page. Every song has a final note. And trying to extend something past its natural end doesn't preserve it. It distorts it. It turns something that was beautiful in its time into something desperate and unrecognizable. You're not afraid of death. You're afraid of having lived wrong, of reaching the end, and realizing you spent your whole life avoiding the very thing that would have made it meaningful. The skull isn't a warning. It's a reminder. Everything ends. That's not tragic. That's what makes it matter. If you saw the eye first, your biggest fear is being truly seen. Not just noticed, but understood, known, witnessed in your full, unfiltered truth. People who see the eye first often wear masks without realizing it. You've spent so long managing how others perceive you that you've lost track of who you actually are underneath the performance. You might be someone who is well-liked but feel lonely, who has many acquaintances but no one who really knows you, who shares but never reveals. You're afraid that if people saw the real you, the messy, unpolished version, they'd leave. Or worse, they'd stay but be disappointed. So you edit yourself constantly. You perform a version of you that gets approval. You hide the parts that feel too vulnerable, too needy, too intense, too much. And over time, you build a life where everyone loves the character you play, but nobody knows the person playing it. The exhausting part is you can never rest. You're always on, always monitoring, always adjusting your presentation based on who's watching. But here's what you don't realize. The thing you're most afraid of, being fully seen, is the only thing that will actually satisfy you, because the approval you get for the fake version of yourself doesn't count. It doesn't land. It doesn't fill you up. You could have 1,000 people love your mask and still feel completely alone, because deep down you know they don't love you. They love the performance. And you're so tired of performing. You want to be known, but you're terrified that being known means being rejected. So you stay hidden, you stay safe, and you stay lonely. The eye sees everything, including the truth you're working so hard to conceal. You're not afraid of being judged. You're afraid of being accurately judged, of someone looking at you and seeing exactly what you see when you look at yourself. All the flaws, all the fears, all the ways you don't measure up to the image you're trying to project. But visibility isn't dangerous. Invisibility is. Because you can't connect with anyone from behind a mask. And connection is what you're actually craving. If you saw the door first, your biggest fear is commitment. Not to people necessarily, though that might be part of it, but to a path, to a decision, to a version of your life that excludes all the other versions. People who see the door first are often paralyzed by possibility. You see every choice as a door that closes 1,000 other doors behind it. And that feels like loss, like dying 1,000 small deaths every time you commit to one direction. You might be someone who keeps your options open compulsively, who dates but doesn't commit, who starts projects but doesn't finish them, who plans but doesn't execute. Not because you're lazy or afraid of hard work, but because choosing one thing means not choosing everything else. And you're terrified of choosing wrong, of walking through a door and realizing too late that was the wrong one, that you locked yourself into a life you don't actually want. So you hover in doorways. You keep one foot in and one foot out. You make reversible decisions. You build lives that feel temporary even when you've been living them for years. And everyone around you can feel your hesitation, your refusal to fully arrive, to fully commit, to fully be where you are. But here's what you're missing. Keeping all the doors open means you're never actually inside any room. You're always in the hallway, always in transit, always preparing for the next thing instead of experiencing the current thing. The door isn't trapping you. Your refusal to walk through any door is. Because commitment doesn't mean you chose perfectly. It means you chose powerfully. It means you decided that building something real in one direction is worth more than maintaining fantasy in every direction. You're not afraid of the wrong choice. You're afraid that any choice at all will reveal that you're ordinary, that you're not the person with infinite potential you've been telling yourself you are. But infinite potential is just another way of saying zero actuality. At some point, you have to walk through a door and build a life on the other side, even if it's not the perfect door, even if you can't see where it leads, even if it means letting all the other doors close. If you saw the clock first, your biggest fear is running out of time. Not in a general sense, but in a very specific one. You're afraid you've already missed your chance, that your window has closed, that you're too late. People who see the clock first often carry a deep sense of urgency mixed with regret. You might feel like everyone else figured life out before you did, like you missed some crucial instruction manual and now you're behind, running out of time to achieve what you're supposed to achieve, to become who you're supposed to become. You might look at people younger than you doing the things you wish you were doing and feel panic, because their success feels like proof of your failure, proof that you wasted time, made wrong choices, missed opportunities. And now the clock is ticking and you're not where you thought you'd be. You're acutely aware of age, of deadlines, of milestones you haven't hit. And that awareness creates a constant background anxiety that steals your ability to enjoy the present moment. You're always calculating. How much time do I have left? How much have I wasted? How far behind am I? Is it too late? And the cruelest part is this fear becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Because when you're obsessed with running out of time, you stop taking meaningful action. You freeze. You panic. You scroll through other people's achievements, feeling worse about yourself instead of building your own. The clock doesn't stop ticking just because you're afraid of it. Here's what you need to understand. You're not running out of time. You're running out of presence. You're so focused on where you should be that you can't see where you are. So focus on what you haven't done, that you miss what you could be doing right now. Time isn't your enemy. Your relationship with time is. You think you need more time, but what you actually need is to stop treating your life like it's a race you're losing. There is no behind. There is no too late. There's only now, and what you choose to do with it. So which image did you see first? And more importantly, does it match what you've been feeling lately? Drop your answer in the comments. Let's see what everyone's subconscious is trying to tell them. And if this video made you uncomfortable, good. That means it hit something real. Real growth doesn't happen in comfort zones. It happens when you finally stop running from what scares you and turn around and look at it directly. Fear isn't your enemy. Fear is information. It's your subconscious trying to protect you from something. But sometimes what it's protecting you from is exactly what you need to face in order to grow. Subscribe if you want more content like this. Content that doesn't just entertain you, but changes how you see yourself. Because the truth is everyone is afraid of something. The question is whether you'll let that fear run your life, or whether you'll finally acknowledge it, understand it, and move forward anyway. Don't let your biggest fear become your biggest regret.